This is the theme song for the live stream of consciousness. You've got to ask yourself whether reality is a dream or if you are dreaming reality. We are all a part of the answer to the meaning of it all. Come in and join us for the moment we call now. Rise up, join in, raise the whole vibration. You are the master of reality's creation.
Welcome to Creating Reality. It all happens here in the live stream of consciousness. Now let's welcome your host of the moment, Michael Zinn.
Hello, and welcome to the moment. We are here to create reality for the next hour or so. So I appreciate you guys coming by and helping me to create reality. I see me and my shadow out there. I see Bernadette out there. Good to see you guys. Come on in, start filling up the front row. We are ready to roll. I'm super excited tonight. I have some kind of different guests, right? I talk to a lot of psychic mediums, which is part of the guest, but I don't talk to a lot of paranormal investigative stuff. I watch a lot of it, and I feel like it's definitely closely related. So I'm excited to kind of bring that in, and it's also exciting to bring in cross network guests, right? So you guys know that I do a show on the Sacred Spiral Network. Shout out to the Sacred Spiral Network. Amazing community over there. But there's another network that I watch often called the All Access Television Network. And there's a lot of paranormal shows, investigative shows. And the thing I like about it is the authenticity of the people who are on the show, because just like you, just like me, regular people, I'm not trying to be a celebrity or fancy production. As a matter of fact, I gotta fix my studio here. Look at that. See, my studio is busted. Now it's fixed. It's the authenticity. I was just talking to my guests backstage about authenticity is everything. And what is up, Ninja Kitty? Speaking about authentic, Ninja Kitty, who has been here since episode 1 of the live stream of consciousness, before it was even called the live stream of consciousness. Thank you for always showing up and being here. So before we get started, let's get on that same page, right? And if you don't want to take a minute with me and do the 3 breaths, you can go to the bathroom and take a bathroom break. But what I do normally to start my show is I clear out the space. I set the intention for the hour to be what it's supposed to be. And I take 3 breaths, and I like you guys to do it together with me. And I do it with my singing bowl, Sage, here. I call her Sage because I'm clearing out the space. So if you need instructions on breathing, it's like this. We're going to go in through the nose, like three or 4 seconds. We're going to hold it up at the top for a second. You could feel it building up and filling you, and then you're going to release it. You're going to push it out. Maybe even you're going to say it, but you're going to intentionally release anything that you don't need. Just release it, and you'll feel, I can already feel it before doing it in your shoulders, everything. So do it with me, guys. Here we go. 3 breaths with Sage. And let's go in through the nose. Hold it up at the top and push it out. Feel it. Feel your shoulders relax. In through the nose again. Up at the top and push it out and let it go. I cheated there. I took 2 breaths in. Let's do one more together. Nice deep one. Hold it up. And let it go, feel it go. Listen to Sage, feel Sage. I feel Sage vibrating right here. So amazing. I love this bowl so much. Still going. Breathing is fundamental, guys. You know that if you watch the show regularly. I love to breathe and center myself and center you guys. And Ninja Kitty reminding me, #live, a little algorithm tickling right there. If you're in the audience, type in #live. Tell the algorithm there's something going on, and it puts it out there for more people to come and see. And that's how we grow the community. Thank you guys for being here. Tell your friends. So, as I said, or as the introduction said, my name's Michael Zinn. I'm a regular guy. I love having amazing conversations. I love inviting people onto these shows to hold up their puzzle piece, right? We all have a piece of the puzzle of the big picture. And if you appreciate that, you can appreciate all the other pieces. And that's what this show is about. Everybody holding up their piece, everybody appreciating what other people do, no judgment. I saw a post, or I heard a podcast, Acid for Squares, this week, and the concept was, we judge what we attract until we stop. No, we attract what we judge until we stop judging what we attract. I think that was the saying, but it just made so much sense, and it's so true. Like, just stop judging. Just accept everybody as beautiful, because everybody is beautiful and unique. Anyway, enough of my preaching. Let's get on with the show. Tonight's guests come from the All Access Network, and Nathaniel Elwell is a paranormal investigator. I'm super excited to talk to him about some of his stuff. I was watching some of his videos earlier, and Morgan Caldwell is his partner and a psychic medium. So it's an interesting combination, and a lot of energy into other realms, which is what we talk about, and what I like to talk about. Sometimes we don't talk about that, but I like talking about that. So I've got a duo tonight, two people coming in the show. Welcome to the live stream of consciousness and creating reality, Nathaniel Elwell and Morgan Caldwell. And what happened to Nathaniel? Oh, there he is. He popped out for some reason.
No, my phone did something funky and it froze up. Sorry about that.
All right. No, you're right at the moment I introduced you, but you showed up. You're here. Welcome to the show.
It's weird how things like that work.
Definitely.
It is.
But is it weird?
It's not. It's not. I call them podcast gremlins is what I call them.
There you go. There you go.
So I can tell you, and I want to first and foremost thank you so much for having us on the show for the next hour or so. And also, I love the opening, like the way that, like, it's almost like a grounding and centering technique.
Thank you. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And I love that aspect, because before I do paranormal investigations, I always ground and center before and after. So yeah. I absolutely love that aspect, and
awesome.
It's a unique aspect that I've never seen in a podcast before. And I've been on over 150 podcasts.
Wow, thank you. I actually can't take credit for it, because my friend Brian, who is a wizard, a literal wizard, does a show. But his show, not only does it start with the breathing, but he does some practice on the show, breathwork practice, and they go through different breathing techniques on the show, and it's great. I love breath work. It's so amazing to connect with your breath. It's the simplest thing to do, and it's just so calming and grounding and centering and everything you just said. So that's why we do it.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I do my grounding and centering in the shower. It's a weird technique, but it's something that works for me.
Yeah.
Like, I picture myself covered in mud, and then I kind of concentrate, and I formulate a ball of energy, and I push it into my chest, and then I physically see the mud washing off, if that makes sense.
Wow. Yeah, totally makes sense. That's great. I love it.
Thank you for having us. Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to pop in. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Morgan. Thank you, Morgan.
And I love the breathing too, and I obviously couldn't see if Nate was doing it. I hope he was, because I'm constantly telling him to. Now I've been after him for over a year. Like, you should try the breath work. Take 3 breaths. And thank you, because I needed it. I've been go all day, and I didn't give myself a chance.
No worries, no worries. And speaking of the wizard, there he is, Brian Lahr. That's the guy who I just gave credit to for the breathing at the beginning of the show. Amazing. If you can check out his show too, Be the Light. He's just an amazing light painting artist. He does tarot readings. He's just such an amazing being that, like, you know what? I'm going to say this about Brian. I don't normally practice my own intuitive gifts. I know we all have them. But I can see Brian's aura when I look at Brian. He's one of those people who you can just like see his aura and his energy and his essence like just in a physical form almost. And Nathaniel, I'm gonna say I don't believe you, but that's another conversation
You can say
altogether.
that all night long. Just
And
call
that's
him
all
out on it.
right. You know what? People used to say it to me, and I was like, no, I don't believe you. Whatever. But I
So,
know better.
so to that aspect, I believe that everyone is born with an inherent gift that they are unaware that they pertain, right?
Sure.
So Morgan constantly tells me, "Oh, you have a gift. You have a gift," and I will fight her tooth and nail and say I don't have abilities. But then when I think back on it, I have precognitive dreams. I will see
Mhm.
things before they happen. That
Mhm.
is indeed a form of psychic ability, but
Absolutely.
I do not believe that I have abilities. She actually has abilities, and they freak
Can
me
I
the
can I
fuck
say
out.
s- can I stop you? Can I stop you for a minute? I'm gonna say you do have abilities, but I'm gonna say the reason you don't see them is because you don't believe that you have abilities. Like
Yeah.
period.
I don't.
That's all I'm gonna
That's
say. And
fair.
that's okay. That's okay. You don't believe and in if you decide that you do, you will.
Yeah. I told him at
How's
some point I feel like he's going to embrace them and I'm not going to push him to do it. So,
Yeah, and it's interesting for me because I do believe, right? But I don't I'm kind of waiting for something and I think I don't know how it's going to show up, right? So it's like I'm waiting for any moment to like just kind of wake up in the middle of the night and something be at the end of my bed with a message for me, some whether it be a spirit or an entity or just an energy that I can sense. I'm just waiting and
that makes
it'll happen.
sense. But are
Yeah,
you a
yeah.
manifester? Are you consciously waiting for that moment? Because if you're a manifester, you should know that you need to put that thought out into the universe and just kind of try to forget about it, which can be difficult, but that's when it's going to happen once you just
Yeah,
actually let it go.
totally, totally. And to that note, you just reminded me. I totally forgot. I am a bit of a manifester. I certainly changed the name of the show to Creating Reality this year for that reason. The story my audience knows is I was on a retreat in Costa Rica in July and spontaneously said, "Hey, let's get married." I was with my partner at the time. She was my partner. Now she's my wife. And I realized that we create our own reality. Um,
You do.
that being said, I just got it all together, and it's not released yet, but I have in my hand "You Are the Answer," a book that I wrote with
Yes.
ChatGPT as some help um, to all the questions you have asked about the meaning of life. I don't know if it's backwards for you guys. It looks like it
It's
Nope,
is.
it's
not.
not.
Oh, it's not.
Congrat-
Okay, it's just backwards for me.
Congratulations on the book.
Congratulations.
And I'm glad I'm not announcing it formally yet, right? Because I ordered a proof so I could look at it, and I need to kind of fix some of the spacing and some of the things. I want it to look perfect.
Formatting.
But here it is in my hands. I'm holding it, and it's
But you know
amazing.
what? You have written a book. You have put your name into the ethereal realm because you've written a book. Right?
Absolutely.
And so whether or not a publisher ever takes it on, like, because let me tell you, I wrote a book here, Downloading for the Dead, Investigating Paranormal Applications.
Awesome.
This took me 5 years to get published.
I love it.
And when it came down to it, whether or not it ever got published, I wasn't worried about it because in my mind, it was a personal accomplishment. I wrote a
Okay.
book
Yeah, yeah. I get that.
and I tried it. But let me tell you, that book it's gonna take off.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also give yourself more credit because I kept seeing the magician card before you showed me the book. But if you look at your book, the title, the way it's worded, you
Mm-hmm.
know you're a master manifester. What is the
Mm-hmm.
magician? A master
Mm-hmm.
manifester. You create your own
Mm-hmm.
destiny, and I'm sure that's
Mm-hmm.
what your book leans towards.
It does, and really it's like it's a not so serious take on self-help, right? Like you are the answer. Everybody who's asking why am I here? Well, you're here because of you. You're here to be you.
Yes.
And that's what the book is about. It's just and it's tongue in cheek. It's like I'll talk about it more when it comes out. I want to talk about you guys. I want to get to know you guys. You guys have been invited
Well,
on my
I'm
show.
intrigued about the book now.
Same.
Well, I will talk about the book eventually, but
Fair,
but
fair.
I want to know first of all, like a lot about each one of you, right? But I guess as a couple, right? you guys are a couple. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, and I guess I kind of build the show as you're an investigative paranormal couple, right? Because you both aren't paranormal investigators. Nathaniel, you are, but Morgan, you're actually a psychic medium.
Correct. I'm starting to do the investigating, so technically, as we said in the pre-show, I technically am. It's just
Okay.
I guess I don't call myself that.
Right.
No,
Well,
yeah.
I love that because I feel like especially when a couple is together and the energy matches, like they basically kind of help each other grow into other things, right? And so I
Correct.
feel like it's natural for you to kind of be with Nathaniel and work with him. My wife is a Reiki master and also a little bit of a psychic medium, and we're working together in different ways and helping each other grow, and it's just really phenomenal. But you guys with the psychic mediumship, which I love, my audience knows I have this psychic fetish, which means I don't really go to psychics to like ask them questions about myself, but I'm a video producer, so I've filmed a lot of shows, I document a lot of psychic stuff, and
Nice.
I love being around it. I love just watching psychics do their work and watching the energy exchange between a psychic and a sitter when there's a, energy being exchanged, right?
Yeah.
And there's a spirit there. It's amazing. And
I, I
go
think
ahead.
I think it's an awesome aspect. And if I may tell this story, and Morgan, you can kind of chime in and tell me anything that I do forget. Because look, I have CRS. My CRS is superhuman. Okay.
Okay.
But I can tell you that the first time that we met was on the USS Salem. I was there doing a public event, and I was part of the what they call the Skeptical Sailors group, where you had two groups you could kind of apply to. You had the psychic sailors and you had the skeptical sailors.
Okay.
And for some reason, Morgan, having these abilities, decided she wanted to be a part of the skeptical sailor group. And we're walking through the ship. Mind you, I had talked to Morgan, I think, what was it, 2 months beforehand when you went out to those giant gnome things or whatever they were.
Yeah, the works of art that I
fairy
visited in
things.
Rhode Island. Yeah, but I joined. I'll answer the skeptics before we get too far. I joined that because yes, I'm a psychic medium. I believe everybody has gifts, but I'm also I need people to prove their gifts to me, if that makes sense. Just like
Hmm.
I feel like I need to prove mine. So I
Sure.
choose to be with the skeptics because not every noise, not every bump is going to be spirit.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I didn't know
I
all of
like
the
that.
people that were in there. I didn't know the people that would be in the group because I went completely by myself, thinking everybody else went with groups of people they knew or with somebody else, but I was just there by myself.
Okay. Wow.
And Nate and I had very limited interactions, literally on a post, and he was like, "Oh, that's cool. Where was that?" That was our interaction prior
Right.
to.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Okay.
I wanted to see it.
Right. Right. No,
So
that's cool. I like that.
I was really intrigued by it. And then the investigation starts, and we're walking through the ship. And there was at one point where me and her kind of lagged a little bit behind. And I don't know if that was because we just kind of missed the cue to move forward, or if we were just lagging for whatever spiritual
I thought he was
reason.
cute. He didn't pick up on that.
Because I'm not. Have you seen that face? But so we're walking through the ship, right? And she starts asking me questions. Now, I'm a kind of person. I do not go into a location without knowing the full history. Like,
Okay.
I am a researcher. When I tell you I'm a researcher, I have a folder this thick on Medfield State Hospital there in Medfield, Massachusetts, before I ever went to the location.
Wow.
I have the full death record. I have the cemetery record. I have everything
Wow.
because that's the kind of guy I am.
Okay.
And we're walking through, and she's asking me all these questions, and I'm like, yeah, that kind of matches with what we're looking at here. Well, what about this? Yeah, that matches. What about this? Yeah, that matches. And after the whole thing was said and done, I think what was it, like 3 or 4 days after the event?
I think so,
decided.
but
Go ahead.
sorry. Well, I was going to say it was also because if we're talking about when we investigated, it was also the first time that I didn't know the equipment that Alan and Larissa brought with them for the event. And I said, a little girl on this Navy ship, which to me made no sense because I go in completely blind. I don't know anything, not a single thing about anywhere I go into. And I was like, it doesn't make sense because there's a little girl, but she's showing me a teddy bear with like and something with a red scarf or something around the teddy bear.
Oh, yes.
And Alan
Wow.
had the Boo Bear, and our group is the only group that had activity. the spiritual team ended up coming to our group because we were getting all the activity, and all of
Oh
the
wow.
activity was centered around the bear that I mentioned before we even investigated.
Oh wow.
And that is a fact. And I didn't realize I had it right beside me. So to give you an idea, when I go into a location, how I research, that's my research folder on Medfield State.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, yeah. Okay. And meanwhile, Morgan knows nothing.
I have every
Yeah, I
property
don't know anything
record.
going in.
She's not been here yet, but I'm going to take her. But I have every property record from 1919 to 1969.
Holy moly. Wow.
That's my style of research because I want to know everything before I go in.
Cool.
And
Okay, so continue the story.
Whenever we got off the ship, I think it was 3 or 4 days after, I sent her a DM on Facebook, and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry for DMing you randomly, but I just have to know. How much of the information that you claim to have picked up on did you Google before you went on the ship? That apparently is not the correct question for someone who has abilities.
Especially where there was some information Nate didn't quite know, so I asked the staff that works on the ship, and everything that I got was confirmed.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And let me tell you, over the last year or so, like, I was a firm non-believer in psychics. I did not believe their abilities were anything because, I have to look at like people like Sylvia Brown, and I have to look at people like Miss Cleo, who, God forbid, they're both horrible humans for the record. And other psychics that really they're not up to par.
Right.
But that's basically what I had to go off of.
That's what you knew. Yeah.
And then she comes in and she's just blowing my mind because I am a very grounded. If I cannot see it tangibly, it didn't happen.
So let me ask you a question. Since then, have you met any other psychics that you're like, oh my God, that one's for real, or is it just Morgan for you?
Yes. Jeremy Cotter.
Okay.
Jeremy Cotter is very accurate. Okay. I think the guy is great. I think he would actually make a great guest for your show, to be honest.
Cool. Hook me up.
I will hook you up. But
hook me up.
Jeremy is great.
Cool.
When I first brought him in to see my haunted doll that I have, he was the first person outside of Morgan to see it in person.
Wow.
And he walked in, he instantly walked through the door, and he's like, yeah, I don't like being in this room.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, well, why not?
Yeah.
I didn't tell him why I was bringing him to the room.
Right.
He said, well, there's something in this room that just doesn't resonate with me. Like the energy feels off. Yeah. I was like, well, go deeper. Tell me what you pick up on.
Right.
And he kept going deeper and deeper into the hotel room because we were at the main paranormal and horror convention at that point. And he no sooner hit the bed and he's like, dude, you got something in this room that doesn't need to be here.
Right. Wow.
And when I finally pulled the blanket off the clown and he looked at it, he was like, oh, I don't like that thing.
Wow.
But yeah, Jeremy Cotter's really good. I have had a few psychics that have come on that I'm like, look, you're not selling it to me.
Right.
And here's the thing with my podcast, the way I work things is I like to tackle controversial topics while holding good conversation. Sure. But when it comes down to it, if you're not what you claim to be, I have zero issues calling you out on it.
Yeah, so I was watching some of your videos before the show, and I guess you have a whole series that are kind of like debunking different videos and things that you've seen, and I mean I love that because I agree. I feel like, even though we're living in a time where more and more people are opening up their minds to this being real and energy and understanding that there are things that we can't see physically, and not three-dimensional things that are not three-dimensional. Oh my God, how did I just lose my thought?
It happens to me all the time. Don't worry.
Yeah, same.
What were you saying? I just want to respond.
You were watching his videos and how different beings.
Debunking. Right. So I love that there are things that you even have that, like, I think people would believe, right, are real.
Right.
But I love how you go in questioning those things, and I also love how, like you said, you're working now with Morgan. You're together with Morgan. You're seeing things that you just can't deny, and
Yeah, I
so.
can't.
Right.
And let
But
me
you're
tell you
still
about
but you still approach things skeptically. You're telling me you have guests on your show that you're like, yeah, you're not selling it for me. And I think it's important that people use a lot of discernment when kind of approaching these things. But I also think it's important people, when they hear something that, feels right, like, just don't be like, hey, you Googled that. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's.
that was
Yeah.
my mistake.
Yeah, yeah, no, no worries, and I'm not targeting you on that, but I'm just curious about. I see the crossover, right? Like, a paranormal investigator, I think, approaches spirits and the afterlife a little different than a psychic medium, and I think a paranormal investigator, kind of like you're expressing your own personality, Nathaniel, is you're a skeptic and you want to be proven. So, like, it's almost like you're digging in the sand looking for something, right?
Right.
And I think the difference is with psychic mediumship is that you're not digging for something, and that something is just coming through. Is
It's
that
funny.
would you say so?
Sorry.
Yeah, no,
It's
that's
funny you
what I'm
word it
asking
that
you.
way.
Yeah.
It's funny you word that way because I should just get the messages that I get and give them exactly as they are. But even when
Hmm.
Nate and I practice,
Pop
literally
culture
when we
references.
practice,
Hmm.
huh?
Pop
Pop culture
culture
references,
references.
yes, but that's
Yeah.
not quite where I'm going with this.
Oh,
Um,
well, that's why I was taking it.
well, I mean, it will get there eventually, but it's my turn. You can hang on a second.
I will
um,
wait.
Thank you. So what I was saying is I do dig. So Nate and I, we practice because I'm in Massachusetts, he's in New Hampshire. So
Okay.
he'll call and he'll be like, okay, you ready? And I'll say,
Hmm.
yep. And I didn't even notice till he pointed out, I do the 3 breaths like you do.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
literally had to sit there and I cover my eyes because it's just easier for me to connect that way sometimes.
Hmm.
And he
Hmm.
doesn't say anything. He's like, okay, go. I don't know the location. I don't know where we're going. Sometimes he'll have 3 locations he's looked into. He's like, well, okay, I have a location in mind. I was like, well, I'll tell you who's coming forward. And a person
Hmm.
comes forward and I was like, nope, I need more information. And
Hmm.
he'll be on the phone just hearing me go, nope, why are you showing me that? You need to tell me more. And I'll give him details like, well, there's this sort of painting, or this was the color of the carpet. This was the person. And I will go through like different time periods of the house. So I shouldn't dig because I should just be grateful for the messages that I get, but I'm too hard
Right.
on myself. And I'm like, no, I need to give as much information as I can, make these
Hmm.
messages, even if it's just practice, matter. And
Hmm.
I do dig and I will poke at spirit just the way spirit pokes at me
Hmm.
trying to be
Hmm.
heard. And I'm like, okay, well, you wanted to talk. I want to know why you're showing me
Interesting.
this.
Interesting. Interesting. And let me ask you a question. How long have you been, like, really practicing?
Um, so my youngest memory was about 3.
Okay.
I had
So you've
memories of
had this your
playing
whole life.
with the spirit my whole life.
Hmm.
But I didn't have much support up until the past few years, the first time that I actually got support. So there was times I say I shut it down,
Hmm.
which in all actuality, if you're driving, if you have gifts, I'm sure you know, as you said you do. If you're driving sometimes, if you're in the shower, those
Hmm.
moments that you're somewhat in a meditative state just because you're
Hmm.
relaxed, things love to slip in.
Hmm.
Or I
Hmm.
would be on the phone with somebody and spirit would pop in, but because I never had the support or I'd always be told, well, you're full of shit, that's not a real thing,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
would make sure to give the messages in a way that they were getting the messages from spirit, but I didn't say spirit was giving said messages.
Right. Right.
So
Clever.
yeah, so actively being out there, I would say it's been about the past 3 years where
Okay.
I literally just
Yeah,
shut up at
roughly.
Paracon one day. Every table I would go and I'd meet someone, like every other table, I would just be giving a message. I'd be like, so
Wow.
by the way, there's a woman with you,
Wow.
and just go into detail from there. Um,
Uh-huh.
but
And
I've
is
also
that
been
is
reading
that all right
cards
with
too.
you? I mean, I'm imagining that, again, kind of being around psychic mediums, I know that, like, you can give permission, like, hey, you can come through, you can not come through. Are you just
Mhm.
like open and like, hey, anytime anybody wants to come through, come through? Are you okay with that?
No, because I'll even be on the phone and I'll say back up internally at first sometimes if I'm just like not in for it or I don't like the feeling of the spirit for whatever reason. But
Hmm.
sometimes
Hmm.
I have to get loud and Nate will even be on the phone with me. I'm like, no, you need to back up. If they're
Hmm.
still
Hmm. Hmm.
persistent, I'm like, you need to back the F up now. And
Wow.
then
Wow.
eventually they will back up.
Interesting. Interesting. So it sounds like you've got your own kind of style in dealing with spirit, right? I think everybody has their own their own unique style, the way that they experience it, right? So I've heard some psychic mediums experience the visuals and how they come through. Like my good friend Chris talks about, like he'll see a sports jersey with a certain number, and that will either represent that date as a number or that particular person who wore the sports jersey, or like sometimes his cousin who played football, it might represent like a cousin thing. There are all these different, it's like a language, right? And it's interesting, like you seem to have your own language back. That's kind of, I guess that's what I'm responding to. It's the first time I'm
Yeah.
hearing that. I've
Yeah.
seen psychics who kind of, talk under their breath back to the spirit and say that kind of stuff, but it sounds like that's more of like the essence of the whole experience for you.
Yeah, so sometimes I'll say it internally, because there's a lot of the times that Nate will be on the phone with me and he's like, "Am I allowed to talk? Are you done?" I'm like, "No, hang on, I'm talking to them." So I am doing it internally, and I won't say a thing, even mumbling.
Okay.
But sometimes too, they'll show me obscure things, like what was it, Nate? That it was a ship, and I kept saying, I kept seeing, and internally I was like, if you show it to me one more time,
That was the USS Constitution, I believe.
yes, I think it was. Thank you. So
A
I kept seeing
specific
them.
ship.
Yeah, I kept seeing a monkey.
I've investigated there before. It's the oldest still commissioned Navy battleship in the United States.
Okay. So there was a significance to it.
Yeah, and he mentioned the pop culture references. I was like, I keep seeing the Pirates of the Caribbean, the Black Pearl. It's unsinkable. I described where the cannons were on the ship.
Wow.
But it was also interesting. I was like, as I'm walking through, because a lot of the times when we remotely practice, I don't know if it's a form of astral projecting, but I'm walking through the place as if I'm physically
Wow.
there.
Oh yeah.
And this was the only place I had to pull myself up completely, which I do, like, because I've walked around and asked, like, I'll be out of my body with like that silver string. I forget exactly what it's called, the silver cord that we have. And I can see myself walking. I had to
Wow.
essentially do that and be above the ship in order for me to have the spirits even appear again,
Wow.
which was very interesting. It was the only time I had that, except for when I was in the cell and I described that specific man spirit that they see there, the older man. But anyways, and when we were there, the pop culture references, I kept seeing Pirates of the Caribbean, but then I was like, there's a monkey. And I didn't say it out loud at first. I'm like, that sounds so obscure.
I
You're going to
could
have to
not
show
find
me.
anything about a monkey.
Right. But before I even mentioned it to Nate, I was like, internally, you're going to have to show me that again, because that just sounds fucking insane. I'm not going to say that there was some monkey on the ship. So then they showed me again, Pirates of the Caribbean, the exact monkey from Pirates of the Caribbean. I said, okay, you've shown it to me twice. You've interrupted the other message I was getting. You show it to me one more time. I will say it out loud. And I was like, Nate, it's going to sound crazy. There's a monkey on the ship. No, there's not. There's no monkey I've researched. I said, Nate, I'm literally being shown one of those little monkeys, the monkey from the Pirates of the Caribbean. So maybe I'm just stuck on the pop culture thing. Maybe it's my thought melting into this. I said, but there's a monkey. Sure enough, after we got off the phone, he's like, yeah, no, I don't see anything about a monkey. So I Googled harder. And as he mentioned, he asked if I could Google. I can't Google for the life of me. He can probably, I can't.
But you found something that he couldn't.
I would absolutely hate to see her Google algorithm.
My Google search is scary. It makes no sense.
But you found the evidence. You found the connection.
I believe the name was Rose or Rosie, and it was the exact type of monkey.
It was a capuchin monkey.
Rose is here. Wow, that's incredible. So it sounds to me, Morgan, like your experience is very visceral. Like it's the way you describe it is it's not so subtle.
It's not.
It's not. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's literally like photographs or older movies, like you'd see in like the Wonder Years, like the opening scene, like it literally looks like that, or it's photographs I get. But then there's been times too. I remember I was working with a woman once, and she would always ask me questions, and I would answer them. And so she was like, "So what was I doing yesterday?" Because she had a spirit in her house that would come in every once in a while, a man in a suit. And I was like, well, you were wearing an Aeropostale sweatshirt, literally down to what she was wearing. I was like, it was like a maroon color. You had your hair in a bun, but why were you literally eating pie straight out of the fridge?
Because why wouldn't
she just, huh?
Because why wouldn't you?
Well, I don't like pie,
so. and that's exactly what happened.
What she was wearing, exactly what happened. Her jaw just completely dropped, and she was like, "How do you know that?" I was like, "Well, he just showed me." So then I had a view of you from me being inside the fridge, seeing you do it.
That's amazing. Wow. You it sounds like you got a lot of great stories, and Nathaniel, again, like I'm glad that you're skeptical, but I'm also glad that you're with Morgan, so you can actually be like, I'm skeptical, but this shit's real.
It is a very good equal balance.
Yeah.
I will tell you there are points in time where we have the miscommunications because she words things a certain way, and I want things worded the way that I understand them. And so she is telling me exactly what I want to hear, but just not the exact wording that I want to hear.
Right.
So that happens.
Right.
But otherwise,
But then later, do you be like, ah, that's what happened. That's where the communication should have been. Do you realize it later, or you just kind of just move on to the next thing?
yeah. Well, once we talk it out, we realize it, and I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe you could have worded it differently. I never admit that I'm wrong, but
maybe you could have heard it differently.
Exactly. But he has started.
Sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
He has started writing notes so we can go back.
I have.
Because I've told him, I was like, look, I understand you can't understand it, but I have to break off from spirit to try to reword things specifically for you. I said, so you're going to have to take notes because it breaks me from my connection. And sometimes spirits don't have the time for that. Well, they have the time, but they don't want to deal with it because spirits the same way they were when they were living. So if they were impatient, they're no nonsense. They're not going to stick around.
That's their personality still. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can tell you that when I went and investigated the USS Constitution, everything that Morgan told me down to the key, besides the monkey that I knew nothing about, was 100% accurate.
Wow.
I can tell you she picked up on everything as far as, well, it doesn't feel metal. No, it's not metal. It's the USS Constitution. Well, it felt like the ship was unsinkable. They called it old Ironsides because of the way they built the ship. When cannonballs would hit the hull of the ship, they would just bounce off.
Wow.
So the ship never saw a loss in battle. So it all made sense. The only thing I couldn't make sense of was the monkey. And I'm like, yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean theme. It is, a sailing type ship. You got the huge sails, but where does the monkey come in? And then she found out information. We kind of make it work.
That's amazing. Yeah. No, and I think that's a part of it too, right? Is you've got to kind of change the perspective and see how things might fit in. I'm sure, Morgan, with you, a lot of times when you're with a psychic medium, I see this all the time, oh no, I don't know a person named Steve. And then they go home and they're like, oh my God, Steve is my father's name, but I call him Steven. and I didn't realize that, yeah, totally. I definitely noticed that stuff a lot. So I'm going to change subject a little bit because we're already 34 minutes into this or whatever it is. Yeah. I'm interested in, I don't want to call them totems in what you do, Nathaniel, more in tarot and stuff. These are like energetic things that connect energetically. But you in investigations, there are tools that I've seen, that pick up voices. I forget the names of the tools, but that's interesting to me, how they work. And I've seen you debunk certain tools as well in some of the videos, but
yes.
But tell me about, like, what's the most accurate tool in your toolbox? Like, what do you find works the most, and how does it work?
So for me, the most least accurate tool you could ever buy, and there's a lot of paranormal people out there who are going to hate me for this, and I don't give a damn. Do not spend your money on a DR60 Panasonic recorder.
Okay.
There is a reason they were only made for 1 year. Okay, and the reason is because they suck. So you're basically picking up on background noise, internal mechanisms from the recorder recording itself, which is and then standpoint creating the voices that you're hearing. The DR60 recorder, do not trust it.
So you went in the wrong direction, Nathaniel.
So I'm going back to that.
Okay, sorry, because I said what's the best tool?
No,
and you're like, no, this one sucks.
No, I'm just telling you what sucked before I tell you my favorite.
Okay, sorry.
My favorite, to be honest, is I love my RCA recorder that I bought the first year that I started paranormal investigating. I still use that voice recorder until this day.
Wow.
I think it's great. It's very easy to use. It picks up great audio. You can walk across the carpet and hear your footsteps on the carpet. This audio is so clear.
Wow.
I love that piece of equipment. And if I had to choose a secondary, for me, it would be, I guess, my own intuition. Because realistically, anything that we use in the paranormal is based on a form of pseudoscience. So you can have a dead bell, you can have a spirit box, you can have all of this REM pods and fancy equipment that you just paid thousands of dollars for, right? No one can solidify how this equipment works because they have never taken it and set it up in a scientifically controlled environment and ran tests to form a hypothesis. So once you have the hypothesis, you can take that and test it upon variable results.
Sure, of course.
No one has done that.
So okay. So what is the RCA recorder that you were talking about? Is that, it's not one of these new electronic devices that interprets the signal? This is old school, like basically recording and listening back.
Yeah, it is a digital recorder, but it's a very old school digital recorder. It is one of the first. It is one of the first recorders that actually had the USB ports where you could plug it straight into your computer without the, I guess, needing any kind of cords or enhancements. I love this recorder. It is so great, and I will send you a picture of it after we get off the live, maybe tomorrow. I'm not going to do it tonight, but
no worries.
Like, I trust this recorder with my life.
So tell me your best story as far as like recording something and hearing it back and just undoubtedly being like, okay, there's like, anybody who hears this hears exactly what is going on.
All right. So my sister owned a house in a place called Enterprise, Alabama. She used to call me and tell me in the middle of the night, I'm hearing things. I don't know what I'm hearing. I'm like, well, it's probably the house settling. It's probably this, probably that. Finally, she convinced me to come over and do a paranormal investigation at her house, right? So I bring myself and I bring 2 other people. We clear out the house and I tell her, you and your husband can stay. It's your house. But the kids, they have to go elsewhere if you can find a babysitter. Because the claims that she had was she was hearing children's spirits. As far as like small footprints running up and down the hallway, as far as like, I don't know really for me if you can differentiate between adult and child running up and down a hallway. I'm sorry, it sounds the same to me.
Right.
But she swore it was children.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, well, in order for me to do a proper investigation, you need to find a babysitter for your children. So we went in, and I'm sitting in what would have been my niece's Lindsay's bedroom, and I think she would have been about 9 months old at the time. And I'm sitting there doing EVP recording, and I hear footsteps run down the hallway. I get up, I open the door. I'm like, Alicia, what are you doing? I'm in here doing audio work. And she said, I'm still sitting on the couch. What are you talking about? I'm like, well, I just heard footsteps. And she said, yeah, welcome to my world.
Yeah, of course. That's what you were there to do.
Yep. So I shut the door. I'm like, all right. So I sit down and I'm like, if there's anyone here with me, could you please tell me why you're here? No response on the audio. Well, if there's anything I can do to help you pass on, what can I do? No response on the audio. And I always leave about 20 seconds after I ask a question just to give time for the spirits to respond. And I was like, well, is there anything in this house that is tied to you that I can find to help you move on? And what I hear through the audio is a child's voice that says, I always do what daddy says. Meet me at the pecan tree. And it was clear as day.
Yeah, that's pretty specific. Yeah.
Very specific. So in my sister's backyard, when they lived at this house, they did have a pecan tree or pecan tree, whatever you want to call it. So my sister goes out back the next summer and she starts gardening because she wants to kind of, grow some cucumbers and other kinds of whatever gardening people do. She's digging up around the tree.
Oh my goodness.
And she finds 3 different left shoes that would have belonged to a child between ages 1 and 5.
Oh my goodness.
And she called me instantly. And she said, I know about what you caught on the audio, but I just found shoes. Am I going to find bodies?
Wow.
And I said, honey, I can't tell you what you're going to
Yeah,
find.
stop digging and you won't find any bodies.
I was like, just keep digging.
Oh,
but
keep
for
digging.
Me,
yeah. No, I'm going to stop.
That was the most most eye-opening piece of audio I've ever caught.
That's an incredible story. I mean, very, very specific. And Morgan, what are your thoughts about these kinds of instruments? And I mean, I'm sure you've heard some. I should have probably asked you to send me some so I can play them, because I'm fascinated by them. And again, like you, like some of them I'm like, oh, this is bullshit, but then other ones I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. And I think for me it's a little more energetic, right? Like I can just feel the energy. I'm imagining for you too, Morgan.
So before Morgan responds,
Mm-hmm.
Michael, I will send you the video that we caught at the Satanic Temple in Massachusetts.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, because he's not released that yet.
I have not released it yet.
Oh, wow.
You can look at that and tell me your opinion.
Okay.
But Morgan, continue.
Yeah.
So I'm new to all of like the equipment.
Yeah.
So I've never done like the voice recording myself, but back when I was younger, I would pay for readings and I would pay for the recording on there. But my spirits that came through for me, you could hear whistle clearing their throats. The things that they would do in life all of the time showed up in the audio, even though they weren't.
Wow. So you didn't hear
there.
dialogue, but you just heard like mannerisms almost.
Yes.
Wow.
But as far as equipment goes, Nate can tell you, I use cat balls.
Cat balls.
And I have a Freddy Krueger, what is it, a music box? Basically motion sensor thing.
Wait, hold on, back up. What is cat balls? Evelyn, this is still live, by the way. Hello, Evelyn. Good to see you out there.
So they're literally balls that cats can play with, and their motions, like you have to touch them to make them go off. They light up.
Okay.
So this
yeah. Oh, like a cat toy, right? Like
yes.
Yeah. I have one of those, except it's got it's a cat toy.
Yeah, so
they are cat toys, yeah.
This is a cat ball, but this is a different kind of cat ball. It's called a devil's marble.
Okay.
So this, unlike most cat balls, does not have a battery life. It's USB-C rechargeable and has a guaranteed life of up to 5 years.
Okay.
So you hit the button, and then once it settles down, the lights go off, and it requires physical motion.
Gotcha.
To make this go off.
Right.
And so me and Morgan designed this, which is if
it was on a table or on the floor, it would stabilize it so it doesn't move.
There we go.
Right.
So if you sit this down on the table, there's nothing that's going to move that other than something physically touching the ball.
Right.
And so for me, for my skeptical mindset, it's perfect for me.
Right.
And I'm just going to leave it there and see for the rest of the interview.
Right. So it's like a sensor, like a motion sensor.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Most of the equipment, I will have to tell him, I'm like, your thing that lights up, why don't you put that with my Freddy thing? You put it over there, we're going to get interaction. And
so
pretty much.
What's the Freddy thing now?
I think that's deep in your closet. My stuff's at his house because I don't investigate where I live.
In my closet, but go ahead, Morgan.
Well, I don't know what it's actually called.
So it's basically a motion sensor device that whenever it goes off, it does the 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
Oh my God. Okay, not too creepy.
And the longer spirit is there.
If you're in a dark fucking space, that's the last thing you want to hear.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
But it's basically a motion sensor device, and I have a motion sensor music box that has very similar kind of creepy vibes to it. But I can tell you, when we were at the New Hampshire College, and me and her were doing an investigation, and we were invited there by Thomas Donahue, and we were doing an investigation there. And let me tell you, that thing, it freaked me out because I couldn't explain. I had it pointed down an empty hallway, and the thing kept going off. And I'm like,
but it only went off because I was like, okay, there's no interaction, so I'm going to take it. I would take 3 steps near it, still completely far away because it was on a ramp. I was nowhere near it. It would start playing.
Oh,
I'd
wow.
stop walking. It would stop. I said, okay, you're done interacting with it. I'd take another step. It would start going off again. And it was
Wow.
facing just a wall in its own little separate room. I was nowhere near it.
yeah,
But then
no one was.
Yep. And
Wow.
then we moved it. I was like, nope, we're going to move it facing the hallway because some kids it was college kids that we were doing it with. And they were doing the Estes method. And I was getting things and the girl was confirming things I was getting. I was like, nope, I'm getting a guy. He worked in the stable. And she would say things that confirmed it. And then I was like, now I'm getting a female. And then she was like, now it sounds like a female. But I said, we're going to point them facing the hallway where she is because nobody was down there. She was off in her room. She wasn't even in the hallway. So we had my Freddy Krueger thing, and then you had your light up motion thing.
Yep.
And they were going off at the exact same time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I have a device that basically detects LiDAR. So I had it set up, and so this way, if there was any motion down the hallway, we could detect it. If there was any motion behind her, we could detect it while she was doing the S's, right? And let me tell you, this group of college kids was so freaked out by the end of our session that they left the event that they had just paid for.
Oh, wow.
They still had another investigation to do because it was 3 teams.
There was still another investigation, and they just straight up left. They said,
They couldn't handle it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, listen, it's a little. Oh, yeah.
How well this devil marbles work, because I'm moving it right now.
Right.
It's still turned on.
Right. It took a bit to get it to go. Yeah. It's waiting for a cat to knock it. Yeah.
It's waiting for something.
Yeah. Well, I think it's not as a physical thing that is happening that you guys are waiting for. It's a more energetic thing, which is pretty cool. So I do want to talk about one thing which I think is pretty cool. As a couple, right? You've been together, and I'm really, again, so curious about different stories that you guys must have.
There's a lot.
But you told me recently, and you came across my radar. I was talking to Latrine. Latrina.
He goes by Lee. That's easier.
Lee. I call her
Just
Lee, right?
Lee.
But she spells it weird, so I like.
It is spelled weird.
Yes, but anyway, Lee is the one who recommended, that I reach out to you guys and that we get you on the show. And the reason was because you had just appeared on this magazine. Which is really amazing. I mean, what a great opportunity and attribute, not attribute, what's the right word I'm looking for? It's just a great just a validation of what you're doing and who you are within a very specific community, you know what I mean? And again, it's we're in a time where people are really starting to open up to these things and investigate more on their own, and here you guys are on the cover of the magazine. So tell me the story of how that happened.
So, if I may speak frankly for a minute, just because I am who I am.
Sure.
I feel like not only are we in a time of people are more interested in the paranormal, we were also in a point in time where people would do anything to gain paranormal fame. Like, they are so caught up in, I want to be the next Jason Hawes on Ghost Hunters, right? That they have completely deviated from the standpoint of it's no longer data collection and proving whether or not spirits exist, as compared to you're going to be the next TV star. And I'm sorry, that shit pisses me off. This should never be how it should be.
Sure. No, I agree. Well, authenticity, we were talking about authenticity. It's not about how many, I mean, I don't look at like how many viewers are clicking on my thing. You know what I mean? I like to invite people to come, and I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything, and if you like what I'm saying, chill out and stay and hang with me,
Right.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, that shit pisses me off to no end. When me and Morgan first did this article, we were told that they were going to interview us and they were going to send us some questions, and they wanted us to answer the questions, which we did. And then next thing, I think it was 2 months after we answered the questions, Morgan, maybe?
Yeah, a little bit after, a few months.
That Lee was like, hey, I think you guys have a good chance of getting the cover on the magazine. I'm like, well, I just be cool with the article. I mean, that's promotion, you know, that's putting yourself out there. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
greedy. And lo and behold, we get sent a picture and we're on the cover.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And
Congratulations.
it was
Thank
not
you.
something, thank you, but it was not something that we were expecting at all.
Yeah, no, no, I can tell. Listen, I mean, I definitely feel like um authenticity is super important to me, right? And when I was talking to Lee and she was telling me about you guys, I didn't get any of that, like, oh, they're on a magazine, oh my God. I was just like, oh wow, how cool is that? And I think that's a part of who I am. You know what I mean? And my attitude in life is we're all in this together, right?
We
It's
are.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, and you could be like, hey, we're all in this together, or every man for himself. Like those are your two choices. I choose together any day, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what this community is about. That's what this show is about. That's what my philosophy of life is about. So
When it
I'm
comes
super,
down when it comes down to brass tacks and you come
yeah,
across someone who is choosing themselves over the overall community,
right,
that is a person you need to disassociate yourself from,
yeah,
because
sure,
they're in this for the profit. They're not in
right,
it for the research. They're not in it for good conversation. I mean,
right,
even at a podcast level, right? They're
sure,
not in it for good conversation. They're in it to
right,
make money for themselves. And that,
right.
I'm sorry, that's something I don't associate with.
No, no, and I don't blame you, but I'm gonna tell you again, not as somebody who practices, right? I'm gonna tell you as an energy guy, let it go. Like
Yeah.
don't even hold on to it. Let those people like be like, okay, you go your like you said, like just don't be around them. You know what I mean? Like don't let it piss you off is what I'm saying.
So
Yeah.
when you said let it go, considering your background, I just gotta ask as a joke, were you making a
Yeah.
Frozen reference?
I wasn't, but and I'm not a fan of Frozen at all,
I'm
but I
not either.
but I will say that idea, that concept 100% I'm behind that 100, like again that's part of creating reality, right?
It
Like
is.
if I hold on to the people that annoy me and I let them exist in my
They they
mind,
are they are renting free space in your head.
yes, exactly, exactly. So Ninja Kitty, I don't know who you're talking about. Ninja Kitty is asking, what do you think of Zach Baggins? Do you know who that is?
You know what? I do know who she's talking about, but here's the deal.
Uh-oh.
If I speak publicly my own physical opinion on him,
Uh-huh.
it's liable to get me blacklisted, but you know what? That's what I'm here for, so I don't give a shit. So I think he is a douchebag. I
Oh,
think that he oversells the show. I think that 80% of what they capture on the show is complete bullshit.
so
Um,
so familiarize me with who Zach Baggins is. What is his
a
show
Ghost
all about?
Adventures.
Okay, he's a Ghost Adventures. Okay.
He's the lead investigator on Ghost Adventures. He also owns the Haunted Museum there in Las Vegas.
Okay.
So for me, I think that seasons 1 through 6 were great. I think
Okay.
that was the point where Zach had the point. He had Aaron, he had Nick, and he had Jay in the background doing the audio video stuff, right?
Hmm,
I
hmm,
think that was the prime Ghost Adventures era. They were great. They didn't care
hmm,
about the money. I
hmm,
think that once that season passed, it
hmm.
became more about the money than the investigation, because every single
Yeah.
episode, Zach seems to get possessed by something. Or he sends Aaron off with, don't get me wrong, I still watch the show because I want to see where he sends Aaron, because that shit's hilarious. But he sends Aaron off into some kind. I think the last, I don't know, I'm going to say 12 to 10 years of the show, not a fan. And I think he's
Right.
in it for the money. He's not in it for the research.
You know what? And I'm gonna say at first I was getting uncomfortable, right, with how you were talking because I don't like judgment, right? I try not to
I
be
don't either.
judgmental. And oh, but as you were talking, I was like, I got what you were saying, and you gave a compliment to the first show, and what I got out of what you were saying, I agree. I think that it's unfortunate that people, as they gain popularity, they can change. They can. I don't think everybody does, but it's certainly evident. And I'll even say it. I'm going to even put myself out here, right? Not judging. I was a big fan of Elizabeth April. I don't know if you know who she is.
I do.
And I think she's great, and I love what she does. But the other day I saw her saying something about advice like let go of identity. She was saying like don't hold on to identity, like that's a part of the human journey, and it was very spiritual thought. And then she was charging $11 to see a certain video of hers.
Yes.
And I was just like, that feels hypocritical to me personally. And again, no slight to Elizabeth April. I just kind of it loses its authenticity as that becomes a part of the picture. So
it does.
So I appreciate what you're saying, and cool. And now I know who Zach Baggins is. So it's something I gotta check out.
And I appreciate Zach for what he's doing. Like he's got the Haunted Museum, he's got Jack Kevorkian's van where he committed abortions. He's got the original Dybbuk box, he's got so many unique items within his museum that he has probably spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on, right? But when it comes down to it, I feel like he's putting more effort into his museum than he is into the show that made him into who he was to begin with. And he is ignoring the fact that everything just feels so fabricated. Go back to the original aspect when it was just you, Nick, and Aaron. And Nick Groff is an amazing investigator. I respect him to the highest regard.
Cool.
Go back to that.
All right.
Whatever in the fuck you're doing now.
You hear that, Zach Baggins?
I hope he does.
Yeah, I hope he does too. I hope he does too. Again, I don't know who this is, but I love.
Just go and look up Paranormal Investigator.
Ninja Kitty is Ninja's. She's agreeing with you. She says he needs to go back to his old ways.
Yes.
Listen,
look,
again.
If you want to know who he is, just go look up Paranormal Investigator and Skin Tight Ed Hardy T-shirt. You'll find him.
If it makes you feel better, Michael, I'm not sure who the woman is that you mentioned, because you can ask Nate. I don't really know anybody unless I meet them in person. I don't
Elizabeth
know who they
April. Yeah. No, and that's what I love, right? Everybody kind of finds different people that they gravitate towards and they listen to them. I used to love Russell Brand. I loved listening to Russell Brand. He was amazing to listen to. And then he started getting very political and this kind of it's just, and again, I don't want to judge him. That's his path. Right, and that's the path of these.
But never
your paths
just
separated. That's all. The views changed.
Exactly,
never mix politics, and if you choose to mix politics, then make a completely different show to mix the politics in.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's one of the things. Like that's why I was getting a little uncomfortable, right? Because my show is really about positivity and love and being together, but I'm also a big I'm a big subscriber to good and evil both need to exist. You're not going to vanquish evil, right? Good doesn't win over evil. I don't believe that. I don't believe good wins over evil. I believe that once you get past the third dimension, good and evil are one thing, and there's no judgment of what good and evil is.
You need to try to balance the two, because you can't have the light without the dark.
Exactly.
Yes, they intertwine.
Yes, exactly. So and again, that's what the way I like to live my life, feeling that it's all one, and this is what helps me not judge. And certainly there are people who get me angry, but when I start to feel that, I just let it go, because I'm just like, I don't need to feel that. I need to respect that person or that thing that's making me feel that way is there and it exists, but I don't need to give it my energy, right?
Well, I'm sorry if I got you angry.
No, you didn't. No. I actually love it. That's a part of it, right? Is I like being in adverse situations, because I know that's my lesson to get through, and then when I get through it, I will have I'm better for it. So
we're all better. We're all better for it when we go through adverse situations and we come out on the other side. We all learn something new.
Absolutely. And that was the other saying that I thought was great, was that happiness is not being joyful and happy all the time. It's being at peace with the fact that life is undetermined, and
Yes.
like you can't control it. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's it. That's philosophy 101 here on creating reality, live stream of
It's
consciousness.
a great philosophy to follow, though.
It is.
You guys are awesome. I feel like I got to invite you back for part 2, and we got to talk more about what you guys do,
Just let me know.
because it's already been an hour. I like to let people go to bed here on the East Coast.
I'm on the East Coast too, so I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I appreciate you guys being here. We'll talk. Don't go away after the credits. We'll talk about getting you on another day, and talking more about maybe some specific stuff, and playing some of those recordings, and actually showing people what you guys do, or what you do, Nate, and maybe talking more about what you do, Morgan, getting some more psychic medium stories.
Okay.
I think that Morgan's story needs to be told more than mine. My story has been told so many times.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, there's many people out there who haven't heard it, but she needs to be focused on, because she has so much more to offer than people realize.
But I don't need to be focused on, because we work together. That's why he's having us here together.
Well, you know what? That's actually, I wouldn't be against having each one of you on separately, and just kind of talking more about you individually than as a couple.
No,
I think there's plenty there.
We'll make it work. I mean, even as a
Yeah.
couple, like, let me tell you, like, as I said in the beginning, she shocked me, and she made me believe that mediums exist.
That's
So,
awesome.
but let me tell you, brother, I greatly appreciate you inviting us on for this hour, and I've really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you.
I have
Me
as well.
too.
Thank you.
Me too. Yeah, and Tim is out there saying great show, awesome. Thank you guys
Thank you,
for
Tim.
being. Yeah, always thanking guys for being here. Do you have any words of wisdom, or of love, or I always say this, any dad jokes for my audience, something to leave them with?
I might have some dad jokes, but I can't tell them on air.
Then they're not dad jokes. Actually, my daughter had an appointment earlier today, and her doctor gave us a joke.
Okay.
What is a snowman's favorite snack?
Ooh. What is a snowman's favorite snack?
A burrito.
A burrito. The first actual dad joke that we got. Thank you, Morgan.
Better than what I would have said. I will tell you my joke in the post show.
I can only imagine.
No worries. Thank you for that, actually, Morgan. That's the first actual dad joke that we got. Everyone's always freezes up with the dad jokes. No, I don't know any dad jokes.
Oh,
But
I got more for next time.
I got some good ones. They're just not family friendly.
Yeah, that's not a dad joke. Yeah.
His dad jokes, his real dad jokes too, are not always funny. So don't put your hopes too high.
What are you talking about?
No worries. No worries. Well, listen, you guys have been great. Let me run the credits. Like I said, don't go away. I'll be back.
Here.
I'll be back next week. And I don't think I'm going to be doing a show on Tuesday for Holding Space, because a friend of mine is playing at a big venue near me. Stage. The band is Stage, and they're opening up for Our Lady Peace, which should be a cool concert. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So I don't think I'm going to be here Tuesday, but Thursday I will be here. So thank you guys for showing up, and I will see you guys around.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Create reality.
This is the theme song for the live stream of consciousness. You gotta ask yourself whether reality is a dream or you are dreaming reality. We're all